internets
and interwebs.
We are two guys who watch movies. I am, of course, Scott. I used to be a vampire, but I got better car. And with me, as always, is
Robert. I'm thankfully it's Tuesday. It's the day I get to turn my underwear backwards and whistle like a canary. James.
You've been watching too much Big Hero 6. Anyway, so this is two guys who talk about movies.
And or unscripted and mostly harmless.
Still not calling it that. Anyway, this episode we are talking about a video game movie that is very much paint by the numbers. We, of course, are referring to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Here, just keep us going straight. I put in cruise control.
The movie.
Enter title here.
Yeah.
Or here.
Wow, which got so much publicity, which actually, oddly enough, I think helped it in a lot of ways, because I suspect that if there wasn't all the controversy with what it looked like in the first trailer to changing it to what it looks like now, I think a lot of people would just have refused to go to the film because, oh, it's a video game movie. Video game movies suck. We're not going to even bother. And I think it actually worked in their favor because, honestly, me personally, right off the bat, I like the movie. I'm very happy with the film. I think it's a great film. Very paint by the numbers, and that's its biggest complaint.
We agree to disagree. I thought Sonic was, oh God, I have so seen this 15 times.
You almost got yourself killed out there. What are you, some kind of adrenaline junkie?
I like the fact that they do make it out like he's like an alien because he's from another world, he's from another planet, rather than trying to make it, he's a regular hedgehog that turned blue because of an experiment. And at least they didn't try that kind of BS, because you see that when you look at video game movies.
Right.
Look at Super Mario Brothers, look at Double Dragon, the things that they took from the original and did to turn it into a live-action movie that's supposed to make sense.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. The stuff they come up with is just so out of left field.
Spoilers, by the way. Go watch the movie.
Yeah, definitely watch this movie. I highly recommend it. I think you really should see it. But yeah, definitely watch it before you watch this, because once again, I'm going to spoil the whole thing. But yeah, the whole dynamic between the two, because the one's the cop in the small town, but he wants to go to the big city to prove himself. While the other one, of course, he's from another place, so to him the small town is the greatest place in the world, and why would you possibly want to go anywhere else? In fact, one of my biggest actual complaints about the movie is they shoehorned in the whole they have to get upset at each other at some point.
You're not making any sense.
You calm down.
You come from a great town with great people, and by my count, 0 bad guys trying to kill you.
There's so many of these, and it's the same thing every single time. You've got these characters that you're going to throw into a regular film, like a regular comedy or whatever like that, and what is it all about? It's about the human characters. It has nothing to do with the CG characters at all whatsoever, because look at the Smurfs. It was Neil Patrick Harris's movie. It was about Neil Patrick Harris's character and him trying to deal with the fact that his wife was pregnant and he's trying to get the promotion at the job or whatever. It had almost nothing to do with the Smurfs. The Smurfs were like a subplot. This movie has heart. All of the other films do not. You don't give a damn about the Smurfs. I'm sorry. To me, they're just there to go and flash something in front of the kids to keep them occupied. You don't care what happens to the Smurfs. You don't care what happens to Neil Patrick Harris's character. You don't care what happens in that film. But in Sonic the Hedgehog, right off the bat, you have the whole mentor thing, and the mentor dies in front of his eyes and everything like that, and you're like, oh my God, I actually felt something there. I'm not saying it's not like it's going to move you to tears, but it's like, okay, I actually felt something there, And then later on, he's talking about how he's isolated, he's hiding. He has to make sure no one knows he's there. So he wants to be with these people. He wants to be part of this community, but he has to stay hidden. And It is messing with his mind. It's making him crazy, which I love the fact that we got crazy Sonic in this. But then on top of that, they show he's depressed. I actually felt something there. It's just like the fact that they were made me actually able to make me feel something for the CG character, I thought was actually really well done. And I think if they could do that in more of these films, if they could make stories where we actually give a damn about these characters, they're going to do a lot better. And that's why I'm hoping that for the sequel, because they're going to make a sequel to this, it's already been greenlit, I'm hoping for the sequel, they keep that in and then do something other than a trope, other than a paint-by-numbers film. Take risks on the sequel, for God's sakes. I understand not taking risks on the first one, because if they took risks on this first one, they actually had a compelling storyline and stuff like that, it probably would have bombed. I hate to say it, because so many people wouldn't even bother to even show up to it. In fact, I think the biggest reason they got so many people to show up to it was because of how god-awful it looked in the very first trailer.
Right, I think that manipulated a lot of people into going and seeing it.
Yeah.
There are theories out there that it was on purpose, and if it was genius.
Yeah.
You got me.
I honestly, I don't think it was on purpose. Because there's also there's a couple tweets out there from the graphic guys, the guys that did the special effects, because someone was congratulating them for how much extra time and effort they had to put in to redesign the character a second time to make him look closer. And someone from the graphics department tweeted something along the lines of, "Yeah, actually, we just kind of went back to the original design." Yeah, so the rumor is, the belief is that they originally did have a design similar to this, not the same, but similar to what we got in the film. And the studio decided that they wanted it changed because they wanted something that was going to be more realistic, which right off the bat, you've got a hedgehog with speed powers. Why are you trying for realism?
Are you trying to tell me that in today, 2020, a studio almost ruined a movie? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Amazing, isn't it? It's hard to believe. It really is. I mean, who would have thought of that?
I know. But special effects were very good.
Yes.
I did believe when Sonic was on screen, the actors engaging him were engaging something more than a tennis ball on a stick. My whole thing is, and Matt Pat, I'm calling you out because you did it. Sonic could have, in the time it took him to get into the truck and know this guy, gone to San Francisco, took care of the business, been back in his hole before the other guy turned the key in the truck.
Now, I totally agree with this, and here's the thing. I believe, and I really wish they had, did something in the film to really kind of push this more forward, because I think this is supposed to be implied, but I don't think they implied it heavily enough. I honestly believe that it's less that Sonic couldn't get there on his own, more he's doing this on purpose.
To get to know him.
He's seeing this as a golden opportunity to get to know him.
Right.
And because of that, he's trying to convince him to take him to San Francisco, which he obviously doesn't need someone to help him with.
Right.
I'm sorry, I laughed at that.
I did too.
I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Which is where this movie lands.
Yeah.
Is it a buddy cop movie? Absolutely. Paid by numbers? You bet. Seen it 1,000 times? Yep. But the jokes.
It's funny.
The savior of this movie, as far as I'm concerned, and God, after 1301, I never thought I'd say this, was Jim Carrey.
Yeah. No, it's Jim Carrey doing classic 90s Jim Carrey, and I honestly believe he was having fun on set, because, my God, he looked like he was having fun on set.
Yeah.
If he wasn't, it just goes to show you how good of an actor he is, because he looks like he's loving every minute of this. Yeah.
I will absolutely see the sequel.
Yeah.
I don't regret. See, this is what happens.
Yeah.
I don't regret seeing this movie in any way.
Yeah.
It's a great popcorn flick.
Yeah.
But it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
There's so much lore.
There is, but at the same time, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a video game. It doesn't need to be anything beyond a popcorn flick.
Tell that to producers of Mario Brothers. It's the greatest video game film ever created.
I'm going to have to hurt him. Okay. And just for the record, I'm not a fan of the Mario Brothers film. Like most people in the world, he is in the minority, and I think you realize that. I think
I'm
you
fine with that.
do understand that. Yes. Okay. And we will talk about that one day.
Oh,
we
we
will
will.
have an entire episode dedicated to that. I don't feel that Sonic the Hedgehog needed to be anything beyond a popcorn flick. I think that was fine. I think that was great. And I really commend them for what they made because I think it was a great film. They can't do it again for the sequel. You did again for the sequel. It's
You're done.
going to bury the film. If you, once again, play it safe for the sequel, ain't going to happen. You're going to start ending up in Transformers territory, which you don't want to ever be in. Michael Bay Transformers specifically, because I'm talking about Michael Bay Transformers, or Bayformers as some people have referred to them now.
Bayformers.
Because what did they do? They kept the same basic
Plot.
not
Everything.
plot. I wouldn't say plot. It was the same basic formula for each film. And what do you see? The movies still made money, but the money kept going down and down and down because people eventually realized these are the same film over and over and over again.
When you go see a John Woo film, you know you're going to see dubs.
Yeah, oddly enough, yeah.
But if you notice, the dubs are different in every film.
Oh yeah, he tries to. Yeah, I know what you're
So,
talking about.
you know, you'll still go see the John Woo film.
Although usually you see it more for the action sequences than just the dubs.
Right.
Oddly enough.
If they do Sonic and they play it safe again,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go watch dubs.
Yeah.
Dubs. I'm not going to go watch dubs either. I've
Yeah.
seen dubstep. It's scary. Bottom line, grab some popcorn, a six-pack, somebody cute to sit next to you, and watch Sonic.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If you got a bunch of kids that have been bugging you to watch Sonic, honestly, you can do worse things in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Because you're actually going to enjoy it along with them. You might not enjoy it as much as them because, especially if you're people like us, who go to see a whole bunch of movies, and you're like, well, I've seen this 100 times. There's going to be certain things that are going to put you off on the film, but other things are going to be an absolute treat.
We might be jaded, just a little.
Well, I don't think you can watch as many movies as we have and not
Gotta be a little jaded.
at least a little bit.
Yeah.
But I like to think that we're not as bad as some popular movie reviewers that are no longer with us, who would sometimes not see a movie as a popcorn film, instead would just completely rate them on the merits of being a theater film, a theatrical film. You do not know who I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
Siskel and Ebert. It was pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious.
Because here's the
Yeah.
thing. I haven't taken mainstream critics seriously
Yeah.
since Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah.
So when you say critic, I think
Yeah.
YouTube.
No.
Because that's
no.
honestly, and
Yeah.
this is a compliment to everybody else who does this.
Yeah.
Newspaper critics, the
Yeah.
guys who do the news, no. I don't trust the words you say.
Yeah.
Your opinions are relevant to me.
Yeah.
Siskel and Ebert, I did listen to.
Yeah, but the
Especially
problem,
Siskel, him,
yeah,
and we
yeah,
thought a lot
but,
alike.
but the problem with the you ran into with Siskel and Ebert is that it's not like they had bad opinions; they had great opinions and they had great reviews. The only problem is that then you'd have them, you'd watch a horror film and they'd be complaining about the horror movie because all it did was kill people in it.
Well, that's the idea of a horror film.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm talking. That is actually what I was referring
trying to think YouTube creators.
That was my roundabout way to talk about how sometimes reviewers will miss the point of a movie
Right.
entirely.
And we do it too.
Oh, of course. Of course.
mean,
Yeah,
so-
most certainly.
But in closing, yes. Yes,
Yes.
see? Yes, see.
In closing, see it. Oh, and don't worry, we're not going to be doing only movies that we think people should watch. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Mario Brothers movie at some point, and then we're going to be talking about how you got to stay away and burn every copy you own. I'm going to find your copy. I'm going to burn them.
We should. I think it might be our next. You know, I forgot.
He doesn't believe me, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that should be our next episode. Why the Super Mario Brothers movie was the greatest video game adaptation of all time.
Unfortunately, he's the editor. That'll be on there. If I have my way, I will X all that out, and I will have the episode Mario Brothers and why I'm burning Robert's copy of it live on film.
No,
it actually won't be live.
I was gonna say you're turning to angry video game nerd now.
It'll be taped.
Actually, it might be live. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't think he's. You're probably going to go home and put it in the safe, so I can't find it.
Well, there's that.
Exactly.
I mean, I have it signed by John whatever, so you can't put it.
Oh yeah, you have it on the thing, so I can burn your physical copy.
No, but not nice. Anyway, I think that's about it.
Yes.
So I think what we're going to do is every other week with these.
Yeah, if we can.
So, looking forward to knowing you again with our opinions.
Yes, and especially when they're wrong. When they're totally wrong.
Or when they're absolutely right, like when we talk about Super Mario Brothers next time, I think is what he's hinting at.
Okay, so, we'll just stop this before we just continue saying the same thing over and over
Yeah,
again.
this could get ugly.
Yeah, it will.
All right, see ya.
Next time.